In this demonstration video, let's understand about access control in detail. So in the previous video, we have created a bucket and uploaded an object to the bucket. So, and when we tested as once we uploaded the object, we tried to access that object from the same admin account and it was accessible. However, when we try to access the same object using a different user account, a different Gmail account, it's forbidden, right? It doesn't allow us to access it. So it all comes under the access control. So basically access control is providing the permission. Okay. We can provide a permission based on the requirement of the business, and there are two important things that comes under the access control of cloud storage. One is uniform and the other one is fine grain. Okay. So when it comes to uniform, if we apply any policy, it is applicable to all the objects that is part of that bucket. However, if you are going with the other option, fine grain, then you can apply a policy for each and individual object. Okay, these are the two different types. Either you can write policy to each and individual objects within a bucket, or else if you go with a uniform policy where you can apply a same policy to the all the objects under the bucket. And also in addition to that, you can decide whether you want to keep your data public or only internal. So when it's a public, anyone from the internet can access your data, or else if you want to prevent that public access, no one can access your data from the internet. So that is also possible. Let's see how to do so. Okay. Now I'm in my console, the Google Cloud Console, and as a continuation of the previous video, I'm just getting into the same bucket which we have created in the last video. It's my bucket E369, and in the last video we have uploaded two images, right? Two images of mountain, and maybe I'll just upload one more image, a cat image. So you'd be seeing whenever you upload something, you'd be seeing the process here. So once it uploaded, you can just click here and you can see the informations about the objects you have uploaded. And if you want to see that, you can click here. By clicking here, you can see this object whichever you have uploaded. As I am accessing it from my admin account, it is allowing, because this is the owner account, right? So that it's allowing me to access the data or the object from this account. However, if I try to access the same by copying this URL, and if I try to access it from my different account, I have logged in through the other browser. Okay, in the other mode, incognito mode, if I try to access that link, see, I'm unable to access the object. So what I can do, I can write a permission to this user. We can do two things. One is either we can define access to a specific set of people or a specific user in the GCP platform, or we can give access, we can make it a public by which anyone can access it over the internet. So what I'll do, we have three objects, right? I'm just getting into my bucket, and if you see we have three objects, I'll make in this way. Okay, out of this three, I will keep one image as one object as public, which is anyone from internet can access it, and I'll keep the other one to access only from a specific email account. Okay, and for the third account, for the third object, I'll make it private, only to the user account, only to the admin account. Okay, fine. So as I said, let me make this cat image as public. Okay, how to do so? So in order to make it, and also you'd be seeing all the informations about this here, right? So as I said, you can click here in the cat. So under this, so you are now within that object, right? So you'll be seeing something like edit access. So if you click here, here you can define who can watch here, who can access the object. Okay, you can add a new entry, and as I said, I want to keep this cat image, this object as open to all. Okay, so what I can do, I can here I can make it as like public. Okay, so if I make it as like public, I have two options here. So just recalling the IAM section which we have discussed very earlier, there we have talked about two users, public users. One is all users and all authenticated users. The difference between is all authenticated user is all user who is having a Gmail account or Gmail authenticated account. All user is any user from the internet. It doesn't require to have a Gmail account also. Okay, so as I want to make it public, I'll just make it as public with this option. I'm just making it as like public, and I'll give us like all users, which doesn't require any authentication. Anyone using this link can see it, and I'm just saving it. Okay, so once I saved it, if you see here, earlier it was not, it was showing no public, but now if you see here, once we made the changes to public, you are seeing here as like public to internet. Okay, and also if you come here, you can refresh once again. Okay, so once I refreshed, earlier it was showing us like here not public, but once I refreshed here in the summary page, it is showing us like public to internet. So it is public now, and anyone from internet can access it. Okay. So now what I'll do, let me copy the URL here. You can copy that public URL by clicking here, copy URL. Okay, so I'll try a different browser this time, maybe because in the incognito mode I have logged in through my different Gmail account, right? So just to avoid confusion, for a better understanding, let me access from my Edge browser. Okay, and from my Edge browser, if I paste this link which I have copied from here and click enter, see, it is downloaded. It is getting downloaded. Okay, let me close it. And also let me show you once again with this, or else let me open one more mode. And if you see now, without login to any account, I'm able to access this object because we set it to public and any all users, which means that no authentication is required. Okay, so I'll close it for now. Okay, so the requirement one is fulfilled. Now let me make this the second mount, okay, the second image as um, specific. I'm giving out I'm giving access to only a specific user. Maybe actually I have login in this browser using a different account, right? So the email address is this one, mylearnings369.com@gmail.com. So what I do, I will give an access to this particular object, okay, to this particular um, mountain image only to that particular email account. So in order to do so, I'll just click here. Okay, and here in edit access, I'm going here and add entry. I'm going to add one more new user, right? So it is user. Here I can add my the other users Gmail account, my learnings 369 @gmail.com. And the permission is reader or owner. It can be reader. Save it. That's it. So once you saved it, now you have given access, you have given the privilege or the access for the this user to access that particular object. And keep it we should be very aware that we have given access only to this particular object and not this one. Okay, and this cat image is already open, so though you have logged in with this user account or whichever user account, it can be accessible. However, this particular, the third one, right, the Kailash image, it is not available to the this user because for him we have not provided it. For him we have given only the access to the second object. Okay, this object. So let me go here and copy this URL, the authenticated URL, and let me try to access this particular object from this user account. Let's see what happens. See, I'm able to access it. However, what happens? Let me try to access the third object. Okay, let's try. I'm just copying. So this is the object, right? I'm just trying to copy here and coming here. Let me try to access it. See, it's not allowing me to access because I have not added any permission for this user to access this object, so that when I'm trying to access this object, it is forbidden. However, at the same time, for this object, I have given privilege to this user, or given permission to the user to access the object. That's the reason I'm able to access it. So this is how you can give permissions to user, or you can give a permission to a set of user within a GCP, or you can make it public too. And one more important thing is the differences between fine grained and uniform. Okay, so if you go here in permission, you'll be seeing the access control. If you want to create access controls on an object basis, say for example you have 100 objects within the bucket, and if you want to define access control for each and different uh, objects individually, then you can go with fine grained. Or else, if you want to apply the same access control policy to all the objects within the bucket, then you can go with uniform. It's always suggested to have a bucket. It's always suggested to go with the uniform bucket because it is easy to manage. Okay, so in order to basically we can define it at the time of creating the cloud project, so the cloud storage, and if you have not chosen there, you can modify it any point of time. Okay, so in order to do so, under your bucket, I'll show you once again. So under your bucket, you'll be having an option as like permission. In permission, you can switch to uniform. So here, now it is in fine grained, and if you keep it as like uniform, then you can, by saving it, you can make it to uniform. So what happens if in case already you are in fine grained and if you are making it to uniform, then all the rule which we have created for defined for each and individual object, right? That rule will be gone. Okay, so we need to be very we need to be aware that when we are moving objects from the buckets from uniform to fine grain or fine grain to uniform, we should be aware that if already you are in fine grained and if you are moving to uniform, the existing control policies would be removed. Okay, fine. And this is what public access prevention is. If you click here, prevent public access, and confirm, maybe before that I'll show you one thing. Fine. So now if you see here, it is showing us like public to internet, right? This one particular object, we made it public. Okay, but there is an option as like prevent public access, and it is common to the entire bucket, and that too we are in the uniform mode. So whatever policy you apply, it is applied to all the object, right? So if you want to keep your object internally, and if you don't want to expose your data, and if you don't want your data to be accessed from internet, then you can prevent this. You can just click here, prevent public access, and confirm it. So once you confirm it, then come here. See, now it is not public. Earlier it was showing us like public. Now that policy was overridden. So it is not public and no one can access it. So this is about access control. So basically, access control is you're defining a permission level who can access your object, either a specific user or a set of user within a GCP, or any user from the internet. So this is what access control is. And to do so, we have two options. To define the policy, we have two options. One is fine grained and the other one is uniform. If you go with the uniform, whatever policy you're applied, it would be common to all the objects within the bucket. If you are going with the fine grained, you can it allow you to create policy for each and every objects individually. So in our next video, let's understand about the life cycle.